Unbelievable. Wow. We're 20 years old and I feel good, like I knew I would. You know, Market America is a internet marketing and product brokerage company that specializes in one-to-one marketing. That's our identity. And next time we get together, we will be a billion-dollar company. Watch out, Amazon. Here comes David with his slingshot. It's an amazing story. And you know, you have to have fun. And I hope that you're having fun. Are you having fun? You know, you never really know how things are going to turn out, do you? Isn't that the truth? You really don't know. You have to have a vision. And you don't want to destroy a good story for lack of facts, because you got to have a good story. Isn't that the truth? Kind of like Sal, who had worked his whole life and became a CEO and big executive. He even missed his midlife crazies. Just went on by, kept on working. Finally, at 70 years old, he woke up, he said, I gotta have some fun. I gotta live a little bit. And he went out and bought himself a Ferrari. And you know, he said, I want to leave my past behind. And you have to leave your past behind in the business, don't you? You really do. So he got this Ferrari and he got out there on the highway and he started going and he couldn't believe how fast it went. And the air was blowing through his wavy white hair. He was half bald, but what hair he had left, and he just got that feeling, you know, wow. And before you know it, he was going 70, 80, 90. He didn't even realize how fast he was going. And all of a sudden, he looked in the rearview mirror and he saw the red lights coming up on him. And I don't know what came over him. He got half scared and half excited, and he floored it, Eugene. He floored it. The thing's up to 120 miles an hour. Finally, the state trooper caught up with him, and he walked up to the car. He said, now, what in the name of goodness could you be thinking? And what in the name of goodness made you go that fast and try to get away from me? He said, now, you know, I'm going to probably have to take you into the station house and arrest you, and I suppose you're some important man. And it's 5 o'clock right now, and it's time for me to get home and get off, and I don't really feel like doing it. So if you come up with a story that's good enough why you did that, I just might let you go. He says, well, officer, my wife ran off with a state trooper 3 years ago. And when I saw those lights coming behind me, I thought you was bringing her back. Leave your past behind, huh? Have a good story, huh? And don't destroy a good story for lack of facts. What's your story? I know what our story is. It's been an amazing journey. 20 years. You know, I said at the beginning of the event, it actually has been like a mental euphoric state. I mean, you can call it a mental orgasm or whatever you want. And it's funny, once you experience it, you want to do it again. You want more. Do you want more? Yeah. The last night at the gala, we had that video, right? Incredible video at the end of an Olympic race where the guy got hurt. And I read the poem about getting up again. If you can get up every time you fall, you'll make it. And you know, the race goes on, and we are going to change history. And we want you to come along with us. And the great thing about this business is you don't have to win. You don't have to do it in record time. You don't have to do it in 3 years even. You can do it in 10 years and you still beat the 45-year plan, okay, by 35 years. But the question that I have for you tonight, after all of this stuff, is are you going to finish the race with us? Because you see, that's the whole point. That's the whole point right there. If you finish the race, it doesn't matter how long it took you, you won. That's the bottom line. You know, there's an old saying that yesterday is but a memory. You can't bring it back. Tomorrow's a vision, a dream, but it's unknown, it's uncertain. You really don't know what tomorrow holds. We know what we want. But today is reality. Today is the dash, the next moment of the dash. And what are you going to do with the dash? Because you see, today is reality, and what we do today shapes tomorrow. That's why they call it the present. The present. Take your present with Market America and make it happen. You see? That's the bottom line. What 20 years means to me? What 20 years means to me is, I can't even express it. I mean, this company was built for the future. We have a model that's built to change with the times and stay ahead of the curve. So I'm always looking forward. It's hard for me to even stop and look at what 20 years was. Like I said, it was amazing. But when I think of the 20 years and actually take time to reflect, I am overwhelmed with gratitude, humbled, honored that a group would embrace my vision the way they have, through thick and thin, right or wrong, and grow a family of entrepreneurs. This corporate team has been through hell with me because I gave them hell. It's amazing. I'm a difficult guy to work with because my expectations are ridiculous. But that corporate team there, unbelievable. That advisory council, when there was little or nothing to believe in, and we kept going, and you kept going, and you didn't give up. And all of you who have joined us, I'm grateful. You know, thank you. Thank you. You know, humble beginnings. We've been through a lot. It's been a real journey, an exciting journey. Look at this group of scallywags, a motley crew. There they are. Come a long way, guys, a long way. And then all of you that joined us. Memories, it's amazing. And now the new UBP, and you're all still here. Now, we had a few that disappeared, but the ones that count are right here. And I want to congratulate you for making the journey, you know? And there'll be more and more and more of them. It's my goal, and I will not rest. It is my goal, and I will not rest. I will not stop until we fill this place with directors. That's my vision. Every last one of you. And I'm talking to every last one of you. I really mean it. There's no reason why you can't build 2 to 3 legs. 3 legs is all it takes. Wow. So war stories. Do you remember when I tried to get you guys to understand building event to event and selling tickets? And at the advisory council meeting, I said, every one of you got to buy 20 tickets, and you almost mutinied me? Today you understand, don't you? We build from event to event, and there's a reason for it. And I have to say that it was probably the greatest decision we ever made, and that you embraced even though you weren't sure, because it has created a stability and a strength and the backbone of this company. These 2 major events a year where we come together to recharge our batteries and learn what's going to happen next. And it's vitally important, or we would get lost, wouldn't we? And I don't think any other company has a system like this. Requirements, remember those days? All of a sudden, we had to change the marketing plan a little bit by adding some requirements. We called them enhancements. Well, a lot of people didn't trust me. They didn't believe that it was the right thing to do. They thought we were making it harder, more difficult. Okay. But I knew that what it would do would strengthen your income, and everybody would carry their own weight. And then the monthly accrual option. Today, it's the strength of the plan because you know what you can count on in income. How many people like requirements today? You know? Transfer buying, what a blessing that is. Now we got the shopping annuity. You weren't ready for it before, but it's the greatest cashback program ever created, and all you have to do is convert your spending into earning. You're going to be thinking about that one all the way home. Well, we're so great, why change? Why do we keep changing? People ask me this all the time. Why are you adding more? Why this? You're doing good enough the way you are. Because we don't want to become a typewriter. And in this day and age of technology, science, information age, enterprises come and go overnight. Things change at the speed of thought, and you have to stay ahead of the curve. You say, and we will never be obsolete. This company was made, I think Steve Ashley said it on the tape, this company was made and designed for the future. See? Who wants to get in some old thing? You see, and if you're one of these people that say, well, you know, it's not like it used to be. I mean, you used to be direct sales and you came from multi-level marketing. Why, you know, you were making lots of money. Why don't you do that? Because I don't like that. Number one. And number two is because it's becoming obsolete. With social media, with social commerce, okay, with the advent of better ways and computerization, those models are going to begin to evaporate. And we want to be the place that when it evaporates, it condenses again, and the people come here because we're ahead of the curve. We are the solution. Did you understand that? Paradigm shifts. Paradigm shifts. You know, there was a family that always had a ham for every Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they cooked it a certain way. It was a family tradition. So one day, the young teenager that was learning from her mom said, why don't we cut the end of the ham off? She says, I don't know. Grandma did it that way. My mother did it that way. So they called her up and said, why do you do it? Well, my great-grandmother, my grandmother did it that way. Well, she was still alive, and they asked her, why do we cut the end of the ham off in order to make it delicious and part of the recipe? And she says, well, back then the oven was very little, and we had a little pan, and the ham wouldn't fit in it, so we had to cut the end off. That's the way a lot of people think. Isn't that true? Paradigm shifts. You say, a paradigm shift is when something is developed or something happens where it changes the model. Now, the model may be like the 45-year plan. Why do you go to work every day? Because that's the way it is. Everybody does it. And it just becomes automatic. Nobody thinks about it, you see? It's like I say, 95% of the people after 45 years of work in the American system end up broke. And people just keep on doing it and never think about it. They all need this plan. But see, they're stuck in a paradigm. And a paradigm shift is when something better comes out that you can't live without. It's so much easier, so much less expensive, so better, you wouldn't want to do without it, like a cell phone. You see? So, a paradigm shift, when it occurs, you get this type of thing. A BlackBerry becomes a Crackberry. An iPhone, a digital office and entertainment center. Google becomes a verb. GPS becomes a talking Mac. And shop.com with a UFO becomes a better way to shop. That's the future. You understand that, what I'm getting at? Do you agree with that? Do you understand it? Because that's at the very heart of the matter. See, obsolescence is something that's not in our DNA. We will never be obsolete. We will always be leading the parade in the curve. And it happens all the time. Who would ever think a Fortune 50 company that had been around for 50 years, that employed 20,000 people, would overnight disappear? Poof! Typewriters, right? Overnight. Okay? Extinction syndrome is when people don't use anticipatory thinking. The key to being a great entrepreneur or successful in business and in your own business is and I try to train people in this, anticipatory thinking. When you're doing something, when you're showing the plan, when you're always thinking about what is going to happen next and be ahead of it. Do you practice anticipatory thinking? Well, we do. And kind of funny how things have come totally full cycle in life. Back in the you think everything that we're doing is brand new. Really, we've come full cycle. Back in the turn of the century, every small town had a main street, and there was sole proprietors on that main street. You had the shoe shop, the apothecary, the general store, the place, the horse, whatever you call that, the stables, and all the proprietors knew everybody in town. They knew them by their name. They knew when their birthday was. They knew their family. They knew what they liked. They knew what they wanted. They had a built-in database, and they made sure they got it. If the person wanted something and they didn't have it, they would get it for them. Does this sound familiar? And they matched product to people and people to product. Okay? And then all of a sudden, we had the onset of chain stores. And you would see them, they would be all over the place. And it kind of got systemized. Still had a little bit of that personal one-to-one marketing. And then we got superstores in order to compete. Superstores. And you go into a superstore and ask for a printer cartridge, and nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows anything. And they got to go look it up on a computer, and it's out of stock. And we all became a number, and nobody knew anybody. Is that true or false? Then, full cycle, computerization, digitization, where we can now treat each person individually, but deal with 100,000 or 1 million or 10 million people at once, but treat them individually because we have their profile and we know them. And then we add one more thing to it. we put human intervention into the digital formula of a shop.com consultant who has an entrepreneurial zeal to care about the customer, just like the shop owner did 80 years ago. That's a winning formula, you see? Full cycle, though. Okay, so you know my saying, if you want to really be successful, here's one of my axioms, one of my laws. If you want to be successful, okay, you must identify a paradigm-shifting trend, something that's going to change the way things are, that's so revolutionary that everybody's not going to be able to live without it. Is this making sense? And when the economics of it have a gradient that cause people to move because it's affordable or it costs them less money. Does any of these things I'm saying kind of sound like this weekend? When it costs them less money and it's affordable, okay, you cannot stop it. It's a law of economics. It's going to shift. That's why we're going to be a $100 billion company. We are going to shift it. But if you want to be successful, identify a paradigm-shifting trend and position yourself to lead the parade, not get into the tail end of it, not follow the parade. Now, I've been at the tail end of a lot of parades. How about you? Just in too late, got the raw end of the deal, got left holding the bag. Well, let me tell you what's happening tonight. You're at the right place at the right time, with the right people, with the right company, and all you need to do is wake up and have the guts and gumption to do something about it, and you'll be one of those people. So, as a UFO, you're a professional. Let me tell you what you are, what your identity is, in case you haven't figured this out yet. You need to get proud of this. You're a shop consultant, a product broker, a personal shopper and guide on the internet. You're a one-to-one marketer. Everyone in here should be like Lauren Reidinger. She is incredible when it comes to helping people find what they want and shop and get coupons and everything else. Now, why can't everyone be like that? You should take pride in your skill and your knowledge to help people, just like a stockbroker or insurance broker. You're a professional product broker, a one-to-one marketer. You know your trade, you know how to get things done. People rely on you, they love you because you can save them money. And I believe in the future that everybody will have a product broker. We just want to be way ahead of the curve. Is this making any sense to you? So let's get proud of it, you know? So that's what I've been trying to get you to do for the last 20 years, and lead the parade. And if we ever all did it together, it would hit critical mass, and this thing would go through the roof. We would pass Amazon. We would be the Xerox. You know how like certain companies, that type of product takes on their name? Vaseline, Xerox, things like that. You know what I mean? Xerox is a photocopying machine. A photocopying machine isn't necessarily Xerox, but everybody used to say, make me a Xerox copy. Or they'll say, you better get a shop.com consultant. So, paradigm shift, and this is in UBP all the time. They shift all the time. Over the last 100 years, we've had several major shifts, new models that change things. Now, what we've done is taken the best out of every single one and shed the bad or the obsolete or the not relevant. So we have the best model out there. It's very, very adaptable to any situation. But what about you? I want to talk about you tonight. All this is irrefutable that I'm telling you. It's fact. You cannot win the debate. But what about you? That's where the debate is. Are you a typewriter or an iPad? Are you an 8-track or an MP3? Are you an old, crunched up map that you have to pull over and look at? Or are you GPS, a talking map that gives you directions and knows where you are? Are you the library? To find something out, you actually have to put it on a list and go into town and spend time at the library. The only thing libraries are good for anymore is in college, meeting girls or guys. Because we got Google. 20 years ago, the World Wide Web was still an experiment in progress. You realize that when we started? Huh? Social media hadn't even been thought of yet. And by the way, that was thought of because a guy was trying to get girls. Facebook, right? Social media was a Rolodex and a postal service landline telephone back then. But we invented social media, non-digital social media, because it's how we built the business from the very beginning. And we tracked what people wanted. And we were able to aggregate that. And if we saw there was 50,000 people that wanted widget A, call that OPC3 or thermochrome, we would go out and source it out because we knew the exact 50,000 people that wanted it. And we got the best deal at the best price, best quality, and we're able to offer it to them, but it was already sold. Now, is that smart or dumb? Very smart. It's genius. And so that was the beginning of our company. There was no PowerPoint, no digital tools, no links. I used to ride around with Dennis hitting the street, and at the follow-up session, he'd go out to his car, and this guy actually had a filing cabinet made into his trunk. All types of literature. And Dennis would pull this piece out because every person was different. And we had the mall without walls. We had all of this stuff that other companies didn't have. Today, we don't have those problems. The marketing plan. You don't have a driver's license in this business if you can't show the plan. Now, it used to be hard to get a driver's license. But if you can't click through the slides and read them or explain them, and they explain more visually than you have to say, you don't deserve to be driving. But back then, we used to have to memorize the plan. Now imagine a new person. Memorize the plan, get a chalkboard or whiteboard out, and get up there and wiggle your butt and show that plan. And by the end of the night, I had marker or chalk all over me. And didn't know, sweat flying. And I turn around expecting them all to get in because I was excited. And I never forget it. The meeting that Dave Silva and Rick Hannon were at way in the beginning. There was one guy sitting there like his underwear was too tight. Guy next to him looked like a rat died in his mouth or something, And it's true. They asked me, how do you think this thing's going to work? Where's your products? We only have a couple, but let me tell you, remember this, Tony? Let me tell you about the mall without walls. I almost brought the plan. I left it at the house so that you gave me, that I drew you, and that I drew you on paper. And they kept historic plans. But we had to draw the whole thing. And, they say, well, where's your office? We don't have one yet. It's in our house. That's what our office is. And where's your literature? We don't have any. It's my pad of paper here. And how do you think this thing's going to work then? Well, it's an idea whose time has come. It's going to work because we're going to make it work. With you or without you, bro. You see? And that's when Dennis joined, because he thought I was nuts and just might make it because of it. So, dial up computers. We actually thought of computerized marketing before internet marketing because we wanted to be able to check everybody's volume so that we knew we could hit. And we used to do it actually on Commodore 64s, linking them together. It was a nightmare. It was a great idea. It didn't work really, but we looked smart. But at any rate, the business back then. You realize that this whole thing got started, I told you it the other day, but you might not have been listening, because we went to a movie. And I was frustrated with where I was at. And you remember, how many people remember the movie story about referrals and people, you remember that? Good, then I don't have to tell it. If the person next to you hasn't heard it yet, tell it to them afterwards. That's a new technique. I always told a lot of things because I knew there might be 15 people and 10,000 that didn't hear it. I wanted them to hear it. That's why I go so long. One-to-one marketing was a central philosophy that came out of that. It gave birth to it. Do you understand that? It's important to understand where you came from. Like Dwayne said, I always say, don't forget where you came from. You might not be able to find your way back. It's good to be able to find your way back into the living room. I show the plan every day, even if it's just to myself, and to somebody every week, just to stay sharper than you. I don't want to get rusty. I tell you, my Andrew Weissman now, he was my student. He shows it way better than me, but I got more pizzazz. You know? I don't know if he's Ben Stiller or Adam Sandler. He's kind of like a chameleon. He switches back and forth. You know who Ben Stiller is? Take a good look at him. You know who Adam Sandler is? Take a good look at him when he's up here. He goes back and forth. He's a great guy. So out of that came computerized marketing, which became internet marketing. Out of that came the vertical model, the MPCP binomial system, which was our brainchild to beat all the problems that we had been going through. And it was based on, and I call it binomial because other people made it binary, and that's about selling spots. This is about retailing, accumulated volume, and a real business that people are beating the door down for products. And it is a real business. And we are the inventors of it, and we did master it, and nobody has it the way we have it. And nobody knows the secret. There's one other company that, 240 companies tried to copy it, and all are out of business. One other one exists, and they pay out 1/2 the money that we do because they don't understand the mathematical formula, for stabilizing the program. So we got the best. As Frank Kiefer used to say, the plan is perfect. And then what do we do? What's changed? What's changed? The plan did change. It got better. The requirements made it better. Then we added IBV. Some of you are still trying to figure that one out. You get on a shopping annuity, and you'll see what I mean. And the IBV will double, will go up. 5% will become 10%. 10% will become 20%. But not only that, you get on a shopping annuity, you're going to have so much IBV volume coming up your legs, when it meets in the center, you're going to get excited and hit a check. Free shipping we added to the plan. But the vertical plan, and I'm not going to go in teaching it today, they've done a great job of putting this together in the UBP. It's a masterpiece. It's why other businesses fail. It's the downside of other businesses, and it's the genius of our business to eliminate competition or limit it, and to work in cooperation and synergy so that more people succeed. Don't forget it. Don't take it for granted. Product brokerage. Well, we were doing one-to-one marketing. We had to be a product brokerage company. Market-driven products. Who tells us what to sell? Not us. You do. And the customers. Transparent customization, digital marketing, matching product to people, people to product. We used to do surveys. It now replaces that. We know transparently what people want. Okay? And then the NMTSS, in order to systemize things in the UnFranchise. Now, you understand UnFranchise? We're like McDonald's. You can't run your UnFranchise like Burger King or you're out of here. We're not going to support you. We all do it one way. Why? Because then it's duplicatable and it eliminates confusion, and the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So when each part does it the same way, you get greater power and strength in the whole. Does that make sense to you? You know, so that's the way we do it. And someone said, well, I don't like it. I'm creative. I want to do it my own way. So, well, you know, go get an Amway or something. This ain't for you, you know? So, the shopping component. Then we added just recently the shopping component. Do you understand why? Do you have any idea why? Some people say, why did you do that? Let me tell you something, buddy. Everybody shops. Everybody in the world. That's why we did it. To make this opportunity magnify and increase exponentially so that we have the reach to every person in every country in the whole world. So we could become a historic movement. That's why we did it. And everybody spends, don't they? Everybody spends. Everybody has to buy stuff. We might have to adapt it for different markets, but you have a machine now that can penetrate any market, help people anywhere, and instead of the big stores like Walmart and big companies making the money, we all make the money. You see? That's why. And why? Because it's the ocean and we're living on the lake and we love the lake and all the beautiful bass that we get out of it. But it dumps into the ocean, and the ocean is much, much bigger. And if we only get 10% of the ocean, we've gotten 10,000 times more than the lake. Is it a good thing to get the ocean? Well, we've been through a metamorphosis, haven't we? You know what a metamorphosis is? I showed you this the other day, but I want you to think about it. You know, we started out as a little egg, network, marketing, direct sales, okay? Then we became a caterpillar, Dennis. This was the fun stage. Product brokerage and binomial MPCP. Tony and Pam, will you ever forget when I sat across from you the first time and we said, what are our products? I said, well, we got this little, you know, stuff you put on your wrist, and you got this little stuff, you know, jewelry, and, but let me tell you about the mall without walls. And see, today the mall without walls is real, isn't it? And it's awesome. The binomial MPCP, then the UnFranchise system, one-to-one marketing, internet marketing, and of course today, here together, we have the new MarketAmericanShop.com, an integrated site. We've become a social commerce and one-to-one marketing leader. And are you ready to fly with us now? Are you ready to fly with us? Oh, man. But evolution doesn't stop just because you got ahead of the parade. It's moving on. But you see, because we've stayed ahead of the parade and because we have people power, we already have a monetized community. If you'll just wake up and get passionate about being great at what we do and understand that what we do now is more than what we did before and it's better and you want to be a pro. What's wrong with learning something after you didn't learn something for 20 years? Is there anything wrong with that? So here's what's happening, folks. It's happening right before us. We're perfectly enabled technology-wise. Other people are too, but they don't have the people power. So at the end of the day, I'm betting on all of you. Or are you going to bet on yourself? You know? And think about this. This is another UBP slide. Every major trend where the money is, where things are going on, where it's happening, every place, entrepreneurially, economically, and market-wise, that's hot, we are right on top of and have it. Think about it: nutrition, wellness, owning your own business, online shopping, and social shopping. We got the cookie, period. Now, I don't know. Future trends were right on top of it, leading the parade. Now, I got to admit, and this is why I'm so grateful to you guys, to follow a crazy man up Mount Everest. I got to be honest with you, though. I didn't really know that I was climbing Mount Everest when we started. I thought it was a hill. But we didn't turn back, Keith. We just kept going. Then we got too far into it. And the storms were coming, and the storm was below us, so we tried to go higher. And then when the storm was higher, it was too high to go back down. So we just kept going. But you know what the good news is? We're at the summit right now. We are. I hope you believe that. So what are you going to do with it now that you're at the summit? You don't like it, you got to go back down. Have you ever seen these slides before? How many people have seen these? Over 20 years. Ranting and raving, Jay-Z raps, JR rants. Ranting and raving. Why? Because I know on almost any other business, they're going to give you a business opportunity, some products, and say, go do it. And they don't do a doggone thing to help you make it. And if you make it and they're still in business, they might pay you your check. One of the fundamental differences here is, and by the way, I've been doing this for 30-some years, and every meeting I ever went to, a marketing meeting, the guy would get up and do the pitch, and then he said, this is the greatest thing ever. And if you get it on the ground level, you're going to get rich. And it's the best thing ever. So then I get in here, and at the end of the meeting, I say the same thing. This is the best thing ever. What's the difference? The difference is it really does work. It's in line with reality. It's proven. We have real products that people love, and the marketing plan is revolutionary and is in line with reality. But we go one step further. We as a company partner with you, and we develop methodologies, technologies, tools, systems, lead generation to pump business, sales, and to help you support it, what you're doing to grow it, so that you don't have to do it on your own. Now, where else do you get that? Okay. Now, I'm not going to go through this slide, thank God. If anybody here is new and don't understand it, ask the person next to you if they do and have them explain it to you. Why don't I have to go through it? Because the concept is we prime pumps. The company primes pump, the pump BV, prospects, business, support to you. You prime pumps to build your organization. And if you don't put anything in, you're not going to get anything out. But once it's primed, it keeps going. Well, I don't need to talk about them because they're all primed. Now you better get your buckets out. They're going, man. So you don't hear me ranting and raving about it anymore. It's done. You don't want any? Somebody else will take it. But you see, if you don't understand this stuff, you're out of sync. You're missing the power. You don't have the DNA that it takes to win, to succeed. You hear what I said? You don't have the DNA. Now, you can change that, but you're mutated right now. And I don't mean that to make you feel badly. I'm telling you that because you don't want to be that way. And you need to learn what you need to learn in order to have the DNA that makes this thing work. Or why do it? Does that make sense? So it's wheelbarrow time. If you're new and never heard the story about the guy crossing Niagara Falls in a wheelbarrow full of bricks, for the first TV live broadcast ever, and everybody lined up to see him die, ask the person next to you. But when he got over, everybody was cheering, and he said, you believe I can do it again? They said, you made it look easy. He said, well, I'm going back across. Do you really believe I can do it? They say, yeah. He dumped the bricks out and said, get in the wheelbarrow. It's wheelbarrow time. Are you going to get in the wheelbarrow? Okay. It's a lot different when you're in it. Elizabeth Weber got in it 20 years ago. But you see, we're a new company now. We are really a new company, and I'll talk about that in a minute. She did it. These guys did it. We're a new company now. This is your chance. I'm going back across. Are you getting in the wheelbarrow? Okay. It takes guts. It takes guts. I told so many people I was going to make it. I told so many friends where to go that I had to make it or leave town. They left town, not me. So what I'm asking is this: if you're all in the wheelbarrow and you as leaders will just rally your groups and be a leader, lead by example, but also require what it takes to be successful of them. Empower them, expect it, do it with them. Because this diagram here, how many times have you seen this one? JR ranting and raving, 3 hours into the night, here he goes again with this stuff. Tell me you didn't think that. Oh no, not this. The mind can only absorb what the rear end can endure. I'm going to be a lot shorter tonight, believe me. Hey, I didn't lie about the gala, did I? You can always get better and you can always learn. Okay. Look at it. You understand it? This is our business model, our engine. You know what an engine is? It drives a car, it drives a plane. This is our engine. Now, if you don't understand it, these two white components on each side work to create one-to-one marketing, the UnFranchise system, product brokerage, internet. They all work together to fire power into your business. But a lot of you don't do it, and it's been an uphill battle for me. I'll tell you something, we'd be a $10 billion company right now because I haven't been wrong about a single trend yet, a single concept yet. We based it on you rather than cyberspace, and it does not allow us to do certain things because we will not undercut you. And I'm depending on you, and you don't do anything with it. So I might be to blame for a lot of things, but it's your fault that we ain't doing 10 billion and you're not making $500,000 per year. You know? But what happens when you fire up your engine and you get your racing team to fire up their engines? Huh? And we all fire our engines, and you guys know how to do it. You're the greatest duplicators I've ever seen. Wrong or right, you can duplicate. And I love it when it's right. And I admire how hard you work and sometimes doing things wrong. If you want to do some of the things we've been doing, go after other companies. That's funny. Laugh. Ha 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 ha. Hey, listen, I'm one of you. I'm an UnFranchise owner. I know everything because I'm one of you. I think the same way. You know, I love you guys. You guys are just incredible. You're incredible entrepreneurs. You just inspire me. You know, you're smart too. Really, really smart. This group here. At any rate, let's fire up the engines. And what happens? And we all fire up the engines. What happened? What, that was, I guess the slide broke. Okay, Matt, see if you can get us to launch off. I don't want this to be a misfire. Okay, at any rate, you saw it before, didn't you? It takes off, and we can take this to the moon, literally. Literally take it to the moon because of the power in numbers. Within this room, you have the power to take what makes so much sense that we present to you and make history. In this very room, one man with belief is worth 10,000 with interest. The entrepreneurial energy in this room, if you would commit to this and just do it and get your groups to do it, the power of numbers and the effect of that in the marketing plan and in the market would make the BV go up, the IBV go up, advertising money coming in, branding. We're going to have a reality show about all you crazy people and me. To brand shop.com. So that we're no longer the best kept secret. But my point is, the power of all of us doing this, instead of thinking about it or just resting on our laurels, could change everything. And we could go to the moon. Am I on the right slide there, Matt? Okay. So at any rate, you got to get proud of it. You know, the problem is with so many people, they understand, they believe, but they're not really proud of it. Oh, they think they're proud of it. And they listen to tapes and they go to the seminar and, you know, they might not have bought their tickets yet for the next one, but they're got one foot in and one foot out, and they're going to get proud, Rick, really proud. Because you got to be proud of it. It's got to be your identity in order to be successful. So they go into work and they see Keith Doyle there, their old friend, and he's been on their prospect list, and they're proud. Hey, Keith, what are you doing? Can I see you for a minute? I've been meaning to tell you something for a long time. He says, well, what? Well, what do you want? Oh, man, come here. Come on over here. I don't want nobody else to hear. I said, Keith, man, you know, I have this meeting at my house, and I got to have some people there. And it's a really cool thing that you can make money on the internet and whatnot. And he says, well, what is it? Selling? Oh, kinda. I sold a box to my mother-in-law, but she returned it. But it's all about internet marketing and things like that. He says, well, do you have a computer? Not yet. And we do social commerce. He says, well, what's your Twitter account? Well, I don't have one yet. You know, but you know, if you got in, I know I would get rich. So you got to come. Oh, come on, that's what you do. We can laugh at ourselves. People ask me, what do you do? I say, I sell stuff. What do you mean? How do you do that? I say, I have an UnFranchise that has an internet site where we're able to determine what people want and find anything that they want for them. So what do you sell? I sell everything. What do you want? Everything. I'm a product broker. Just the difference of the attitude, you see? Now, saying I sell stuff to many of you might be the dumbest thing you could. I don't want to be bothered by the guy. So then he comes after me. So what? Look, we can change the world. We really can. But we got to change ourselves first. Are you getting the message? It reminds me of a beautiful story. Beautiful story about controlling or impacting the future. When I was a young man, I wanted to change the world. I found it was difficult to change the world, so I tried to change my nation. When I found out that I couldn't change the nation, I began to focus on my town. I couldn't change the town, and as an older man, I tried to change my family. Now, as an old man, I realize that the only thing that I can really change at all is myself. And suddenly, I realized that if long ago I had changed myself, I would have made an impact on my family, and my family and I could have made an impact on the town, and the impact could have changed the nation, and I could have indeed changed the world. It starts with you. It starts with you. So, I believe that we can change the world. I really do. We have a model that's driven by the most powerful energy and force in the world. I want you to know that it's more powerful than atomic energy. It doesn't even hold a candle to it. It's called entrepreneurial power. It's called the desire for self-determination. The desire to be free, an unalienable right to be free, to do my own thing, to have economic stability. Now, governments can't solve it. And all the problems in this world where governments control people come down to one thing: economic deprivation. Isn't that true? Everyone shops, everyone buys, everyone needs stuff. And we have a model that's made to convert that spending into earning. And then we'll show them how to build a business and get customers and be free. And our collective buying power, our collective energy, using cooperation rather than competition, can change the world. And there are no boundaries in cyberspace. And there are no governments. And it's our territory. What are we going to do with it? Two get 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 two two get two get two get two get two get two get two two get 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 two. And there is no more poverty in India. You see? I will not go to war against Korea because I will not shoot my check. And we're making money together. And nobody even cares about that anymore. It's stronger than ideologies. And it doesn't matter what the government does. The people are doing better. We have that power in this room. Now, had we been resistant to change, if we had been resistant to change, 47 minutes left, if you want to know. If we'd been resistant to change, where would we be right now? And by the way, that's only an hour and 40 minutes this time. Our company has found, I figured something out, Tony. I'm going to see you again. You keep coming back. I don't need to do it all in one shot. Our company was founded. Honest to God, truth is when I would speak for 3.5 hours, it's because I was afraid once you left, you would never come back. So I had to get you right now. Our company was founded on solid principles and a foundation of proven business building principles that over 20 years of working it and interviewing everybody that ever made it, okay, was a common golden thread, the basic five. And it still stands strong today. You're not going to reinvent the wheel. What is, and what isn't. And our ability to adapt and our commitment to lead the parade has been the greatest strengths of this company since day one. And it's still that way today. Now today, there's no company that's in better position to lead the paradigm shift in social shopping. I don't like Amazon. I don't like how big they are. I don't like that they're branded. I don't like that they're not as good as us, but bigger than us and make us look silly. I'm pissed off. You know? And I want to change that. And there's not you cannot win this debate. Oh, you need branding. Well, what the heck are you for? Is word of mouth stronger than TV advertising? What do you believe? Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm right. We at least got to give it a try. So congratulations to this corporate team, and congratulations to you in the field that have stayed the course all these years, okay? You're going to reap the rewards. We're positioned to win. We are the social shopping company. That is our identity. Why? Because that's what I say. And one more thing, it's true. It was true without the internet. Weren't we a social shopping company? Friends to friends to friends. And when you practice it correctly and engage technology with it, you make a lot of money. Okay? Brick and mortar to click and order. That's our identity. That's what we do. And if that's your identity, you don't do it the other way, or you're a hypocrite. I won't call you a traitor. Word of mouth to word of mouths. I love this slide. Keith Doyle gave it to me 7 years ago. I just love it. They keep trying to make me change it, but it's my favorite. You know? And we really do have all the future trends. We're at the right place at the right time. You know, you have a lot to be proud of, a lot to offer people, a lot to offer people. Now, here's what we've really done, and I'll be off of this then. When we began, I wanted to have something better than other places, Dennis. You know, I wanted to recreate the industry, change it, and eliminate some of the repeating problems and make something that was more realistic and had more reach and more power. So we built an engine, product broker. Remember this? Next piston, cylinder, UnFranchise system. Remember when we did that? We were building a car. Mall without walls. Remember that? Remember when we introduced that, guys? This stuff wasn't always here, Paul. It kind of evolved. And we were building a car because we wanted to be able to get around. MPCP. And there we went. We did pretty well, didn't we, guys? Did pretty well. But I like speed. You know? So we rebuilt the engine. Still had those 4 cylinders, and we added shop.com, internet marketing, shopping annuity. We added social commerce, digital arsenal of social media tools. Of course, the preferred customer system, which is now base 10.7 strong. And now, simplification. You know what happens when an engine has one cylinder that blows a rod or whatever? Or that's tapping? Huh? Yeah, friction-free 3000. There you go. What's that? Well, they're all running. So now, this is what we've done. I'm trying to get you to understand. This is where we are today. This is what we've done over the last 20 years. And here we go. Whoa! Are you ready? Get in the car. Now, when you get rid of that old clunker, you deserve better. When you chose the 2 to 3 year plan, you made an amazing decision whether you knew it or not. I know you didn't know what you were in for, but you became an entrepreneur. And I want to tell you something in your identity. I hope this permeates your cerebral cortex and shines like a neon sign to the world. I am an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is the highest of professions. They are the high priest of society. They are the producers of society. They are the rock stars. They make it happen. That's what you are. You have a lot to be proud of. Yeah. Being an entrepreneur is noble, and you are in control of your future. You don't depend on anybody. You have no net. You make your own way. You're self-supporting. You're a real man or woman. It's amazing. And most people don't get the chance. You know why? It requires all types of knowledge. You don't know what to do. It requires all types of money. You don't have the money. But we want to make it for the average person. So we invest hundreds of millions of dollars, really, in order to provide an opportunity that's equal to an Amazon or a shop.com and give it to you in a box. Plus a mall without walls and a product brokerage system and a Market America University, that we put it all in a box, give it to you, and you don't even have to pay for it, really. And so, you know, you're an entrepreneur. If you don't look at something, you're never going to find anything. And if you don't try anything, nothing's ever going to happen. So you looked, and you're trying something, and now it's time to make it happen. And the thing that makes this better than any other entrepreneurial experience, and listen to this, is we have the golden egg. We have the golden egg. You can get in a lot of businesses. Start a salon, start a dry cleaning business, start an engineering business, start some business, and you have to exchange time for money, invest a lot of money, and you're like the hamster on the treadmill thing that I do, okay? You basically bought an expensive job, isn't that right? How long have you been in? People tell me 3 years, 5 years. I've been in 7 years, and I made one check, but you know, I ain't making them very much. When you sign the application is not when you get in. It has nothing to do with it. Anybody can sign an application. It's meaningless. The 2 to 3 year plan begins when Market America gets in you, in your identity. Okay? And that means that you're treating it like a business and giving it some attention and some love, and it becomes your identity. I am an UnFranchise owner. I am a director. Get out of my way. You see, that's when it begins. You didn't put 8 to 10 hours in every day for 3 years. You did it 1 day a week. I know, I checked. We got computers. So you want change, and you know, you want to make an impact, and you're here because you want to succeed, and you're looking for shortcuts. There's some shortcuts. I'll tell you the biggest shortcut, the only shortcut that I know of, is to get 2 people to the next World Conference, because it'll mess their mind up, and regardless of how good or bad you are, they're going to know what to do and want to do it with you or without you, and as a result, you become a hopeless success. But ultimately, just like in any business, it comes down to what you do. You know, and you cannot lead where you will not go, and you cannot teach what you do not know. So I congratulate you for being here. And I sure hope you stay in the race and are here next time. Wow. And I think that you know that. This is the real deal. And the idea of the MPCP becoming a shopping annuity is, I want anybody that wants to debate me on that, I would love to take on that debate so that I can wipe you. I'll whip you pretty bad. You don't want to get in a bad mouth contest with me on that one. The shopping annuity is genius. And all we're doing is funding the MPCP with spending. The money's going anyway. It's a game, guys. It's a game that makes you money. How many things can you find? And why wouldn't somebody want to do this? And you see, once that happens, you're going to get more customers than you know what to do with. You're actually going to understand where to find stuff to save people money on the shop.com site. You're going to be so excited about showing them how to get, you know, a pair of shoes that cost $100, you know, for 30. It's amazing, and it feels good when you do that because people think you're smart and cool. Why wouldn't you want to do this? You see? And best of all, it's easy. You're eliminating negative products, buying from your own business, and anything else you get, you're eliminating having to go to the store, wear and tear on the car, gas is expensive, waiting in line, wasted time, and on the way back, I can just visualize you on the way back. Money blowing out of your trunk. Not very smart, you see. And the power of numbers. Let's celebrate 20 years by the shopping annuity. Let's reward ourselves and our organizations, the shopping annuity. Our collective buying power, and it's one of our greatest strengths. The power of numbers. Everybody shops, everybody spends. There's 3 levels of monetization in this program. The customer gets cash back and gets cash for sharing. You make retail profit and save money, and on things you buy that aren't Market America products, you get cash back. But the real cash back, think about it, we're all our best customers. Your organization is your primary customer network. And everybody complains, well, there's not enough cash back. But what about the MPCP? That's not enough cash back? Do you understand that when you convert spending into earning, it's into MPCP, and you're getting big time cash back? I'm not going to go over it. I beat it to death the other day. But it really is a cash back program. And the shopping annuity, you can have whatever size one you want. But you big guys, I'd be all over this with my people. I'd be all over it, making sure that it's happening, instituting it. You guys know how to duplicate. You know how to drive something down. You will see them making more money, selling more, and you're going to make a ton right away. Right away, next month, the month after, you make it right away. You don't even need to build another leg. Take that one home and sleep on it. You'll wake up in the middle of the night. You want the magic formula, eh? The magic formula. I'm going to tell it to you. Okay? Another secret is developing this business is not about how hard you work. You want to hear this? It's not about how hard you work. It's 95% mental. 95. You have to make a conscious decision. So many people are mentally constipated. They want to do it, but they're so stopped up with negative and fear and problems. They want to talk to the guy next to them about the business, but they can't get it out. Some of you keep doing the same thing the same way. The same thing the same way that doesn't work. That makes a heck of a lot of sense. So I tell you about all these things. You haven't gotten 2 people in 5 years. I tell you about social media. Steve and Lauren, pour their hearts out, showing you that they already did it, and you don't want to learn it because you do it the old way, which don't work. You're like the fly when I was in Toronto 15 years ago building a business in a Holiday Inn. It was right up, hot day, and I was trying to write the speech, and a fly, a big, a horse fly, was up there on the window. Brrr, brrr, it wanted to get out, man. Brrr, a 1/4 inch painted glass between it and freedom. Brrr, brrr, brrr. Until it sapped every last piece of energy out of his body, was a dead fly on the door sill. When all it had to do was turn around and fly 8 feet out the doorway. The door was open. A lot of people in the business and not in the business. It's like the 2 to 3 year plan. Just turn around and go out. When I was a kid, we used to go to Moore's Field. It was a field. We used to go in the woods, and there was cows out there and everything. We used to have this game because the cows would lay these cow pies. Keith, you ever jump into a cow pie? You don't know if it's wet or hard. It's kind of like a betting game. And a consolation game was flies would get on the cow pie, and we would beat them with a stick, and you'd see if you could get them off. but they just keep going back on, back on, back on. You couldn't get them off. It's like a lot of people, they can't get off the crap. So make up your mind, resolve it, resolve it. Okay, what do you want? Who are you? What is this about to you? Define your passion, define your identity. Get a dream board, okay? Get a new goal statement. Change your thinking. You have the power to do this, and you have people around you that will support you in doing it rather than criticizing you. You do the same thing, nothing changes. So let me ask you a question. Who are you? Can you answer that? What do you want to become? See, you're not going to make it in this business by trying to change your behavior. Oh, I got to do more. I got to go to that meeting. You're doing things that you don't want to. Oh, I don't want to show the plan. Oh, man. I'm sweating showing this thing. Anybody ever feel that? Don't lie. Oh, I don't want to go to their house. Why can't they come to my house? You know? But you see, if you try to change your behavior and make yourself do it because you don't want to do it, but you have to do it, and you're doing it because you're changing your behavior and not your identity. When you say, I'm a UFO, man. I'm a director. I'm a leader. I want to do this. Well, it's not that you say you want to do it, you actually want to do it. It's like you will never stop smoking trying to stop smoking because you are a smoker trying to stop smoking. But if you become a non-smoker, you won't smoke. If you're a drug addict, you're not going to overcome addiction. You have to change your thinking that I am free of this. I'm not that anymore. Okay? If you're overweight or not out of shape, you have to do what they do in TLC. Change your identity. I'm fit. I'm thin. If you're unsuccessful in business, you can't say, I'm not making it. I'm trying hard. I'll work harder. No. I'm poor. I'm down and out. I'm up against the wall. I'm trying to find some money to get in. I'm trying to get some money. No. My money's coming soon. I deserve it, and I have plans, and it'll be here soon because I'm rich. You see? Change your identity. So, I got a secret for you. You're a director. You're a field vice president. I know every single one of these characters over here. I knew them when they started, and they were nothing. They're fabulous, but they're not that great. I'm one of them, so I'm talking to myself. But I know something else about every single one of them. They were a director or a field vice president a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years before they ever got the pen or the check. And the BV just caught up with them. You understand that? And you see, because here's what a director is. Listen carefully. A director is somebody who does what a director does and acts like all of the time because they are one. You get that? So here's what happens. Listen to this. This is really cool. What you used to hate, you now love. And what you used to love, you now hate. You hate not having a meeting. I can't stand it. I've got a meeting tonight. And you love to show the plan, as an example. You experience it, haven't you, Jim? So declare your identity. People say, I can't change, it's painful. I can't do all those meetings and all that work. I don't know if I can do it. Or, oh, it'll be painful to lose weight. I don't want to go through that. You're already in pain. It's the truth. If you're not making at least 100 grand a year, you're in pain. I understand. Too busy to define your identity? Too busy? No time? I'll get to it. Do the dream board exercise. Visualize it on stage. Get a power line. Cut out the picture, of Joanne Shea and stick yours in it in place of it. Get a check, your $300 check, and wipe it out and put $20,000. And put it in an envelope and practice taking it out so you visualize it and feel it. Yeah. Become who you were meant to be. Or you, I'm a teacher and I have a Market America UnFranchise on the side. Well, you're never going to make it. I'm an UnFranchise owner, and I enjoy teaching so much, I've kept my job, but I don't know how much longer I can afford to do it. Now act as if. Act as if. Act as if. If you want to call that fake it until you make it, I don't care. Act as if. The creative cycle. Napoleon Hill studied every successful person in the world and found a common golden thread and came up with an observation that the mind of man anything that the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Now, I want to tell you something. This is a law of the universe. It's biblical, it's scriptural, it's in every religion, every doctrine of truth. It permeates everywhere, but for some reason, we're all ignorant of it. God made you in his image and gave you the power to create and no other creature. And I have come to experience it in my own life. That if you think it, and as a man thinketh, so be it. And if you think it and believe it and accept it and demonstrate the belief, it'll come out of the ethers. People will knock at your door, circumstances will change, and it's called the creative cycle. So do you believe what I'm telling you? I mean, you sit in a hardback chair all weekend and pay this money. Don't be the type of person that goes through this and doesn't go home and change something. Change one thing. Pick one thing and change it so something starts to happen. And here's a very profound statement. A very profound statement. I think I'm going to give this to this group over here. I can't face you all at once. Now listen to this. It's for you all. For you all. The reason I did that was most of you guys already know this. Listen to this. You always get what you want, whether you realize it or not. Because you see, your subconscious rightfully determines what energies, experiences, and the people you attract. Therefore, the only foolproof way to know what you want is to see what you have. There are no victims, only students. You already have it if you ask for it and expect it and have gratitude for receiving it. It's the law of the universe. I have experienced it in my own life. Here you got some little scallywag grunt from some little dumb town, nothing special, good parents, who picked himself up by the bootstraps and dreamed and thought in a certain way. The only difference between you and me is my thinking, period. Now, I did not know how to do this business. I did not know how to do any of this stuff. I was afraid of people. Still am a little bit. I'm shy. Just don't get me started. I love this saying. You don't need to know how. Picasso, a genius. I am always doing things I cannot do. That is how I get to do them. We're going to do it anyway, guys, and you're going to be a director. You see? At the heart and soul identity of this business, okay, it really hasn't changed over the years. John Nesbitt wrote the book, Megatrends, and everybody got all excited about high touch, high tech. Well, we're going to be the first company to ever really do that. You see, this is our identity. We're leading the paradigm shift. Things have changed. We're going international. Shop.com now is a change, isn't it? Well, why did we do it? Because it allows us to become a shopping annuity. It allows us to lead the parade in social shopping. It gives people a way to shop better, and we can change the way people shop and become the Xerox, if you will, of shopping, the Google of search. We can be the one that helps people shop better and have a better experience, and they will rely on us because everybody's got to shop and everybody wants to get the right thing and they want to get the right deal, and you're the professional shop consultant. You like that? That's your identity. So we have it. It's a reality. Mark showed it to you, and it just keeps getting better and better. So I talked a lot about filling the bean jar. You got your identity right? You know what we are? You know what the company is? You ready to go? Now all you need is the people, right? And we talked a lot about filling the bean jar. Do you understand what I showed up here? So don't go back home and go get one person. Don't let that one person in until you get 20. And then see who's the best. Put them through a tryout, you see? And you got to fill the funnel. Did you understand it? Really? Or do you think it's just a funny thing that I do? Because it really is how we build the business. Okay? Now, digitally, the second thing that changed since the beginning, the second thing, besides shop.com, is we're digitally empowered and socially network engaged with an arsenal to bring in 10 to 100 times the beans at one time. It reaches into the sky, and exponentially faster, you can sit and fill your bean jar, even at home, shake it up, get the nuts, and get on to being director this year. And here it goes, the social media digital funnel. Go. So social media, by searching and doing this, is going to bring you the people you need, just like we found them. And more than you can handle. More than you can handle. We knew it was a half-cracked nut. So, by doing social searching, why do we have you do all these things? Why MA Network? Why Facebook? Why Twitter? Why the seminar by Lauren and Steve? Why? Because we're trying to force something on you? No. We want you all in this room to fill your bean jars this year and come back as directors. That's why we're doing it. And this is the only way to do it. We are socially engaged. And the honest to God truth that you will learn is once you turn it on, you can't turn it off. So once you're director, you just have to go field vice president because you got to do something with the people. You hear that? So there it is. We use social searching. Now, that's not putting posts up. That's looking for somebody that uses motives, somebody that wants a shopping opportunity. You really can't turn it off. Once they start following you, they won't leave you. Okay. 20-year anniversary, you know, and I have been ranting and raving about the same thing. But you realize we're a new company now. We're totally rebuilt. Yeah, you're going to have to get used to this. Totally refitted, totally retooled. You know, we're ready to do it over. What about you? Do you see that we're a new vehicle, a new car? Are you ready to get in it? See? And another day, another million is now another day, another billion. How much you want? So on this anniversary, we celebrate a new business with the shop.com integration and the simplification of automatic renewal, registration, waiting room, shop.com integration, you know, and all the merchandising coming down the road, marketamerica.com back office, front office, unfranchised back office, the international opportunity, global site, EMG, unification, and a new unfranchised business opportunity. We're a new company. Did you like the international opportunity that we're offering now? The global reach? But what hasn't changed is everything that we've ever taught and we've ever done. It's the DNA. You know, think about it. The fundamentals, cash back, IBV, NMTSS on franchise system, building from event to event, 10, base 10, 7 strong, MA University in the majors. You ever see this slide before? You ever hear the basic 5? It connects with every aspect of the marketing plan. And when you do it, it weaves a web that makes it work. Nothing's new. NMTSS on franchise system, listening to audios to program your mind, build from event to event, base 10, 7 strongs. For 20 years, I've ranted about this stuff. And how many times have I told you the same thing? You know, it is what it is. It's the truth. It's part of the UFO identity. It's reality. It's the golden keys to success. Know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. It's reality. They're proof of it. I have to actually confess that they did the basic 5. And they did it well. And you don't know what you don't know until you come here, and then you know it. Then what's your excuse? And I know the secrets and the truth, and you know, it works if you work it. That's the bottom line. I spill my guts for 20 years to you. Same old stuff. How many times I got to say it, and when are you going to do something with it? I keep pounding the same thing, but you keep coming back, so I pound you again. You know, the treadmill. When are you going to get off the treadmill? And when are you going to start building the business in a way that works and not keep doing it the way it doesn't work? How many times have we done this? I like doing it. I'll do it for you again. But the point is, don't we have to get off the treadmill? And don't we have to get people in the 45-year plan off the treadmill? Same old thing, guys. Pumps. You got to put something in before you get something out. And you got to prime the pumps. Fill the bean jar. Same old stuff, right? You know? And you don't have to build 10 to 20 legs or prime 10 to 20 pumps. You only have to prime 1, the binary pump, or 2. And you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you want to fill that vessel up, that bucket up for the next guy, so that when your people come down the road, it'll be easy. Vertical binary marketing pumps. I mean, We've been over and over and over it. All the fundamentals. Fill the funnel in the bean jar. How many times do we go over it? But are you getting it? What I'm asking you, are you comprehending it? And if so, are we going to do anything about it? Program your brain. Listen to audios. Have a goal statement. Develop a plan. Elizabeth did it. Break it down step by step. Climb the stairs. One step at a time. What you got to do daily adds up to weekly. Weekly to monthly. Monthly to annual. And in doing the steps, other people are being led up with you. So they come up with you, but you got to lead by example. The business becomes you. Whatever you want, whatever your identity is, that's what the business will do. Don't blame it on the business. It's like a liquid. A liquid has no mind of its own. It's like a fluid. You pour it in a teacup, it becomes a teacup. You pour it in a bean jar, it becomes the shape of the bean jar. You pour it in a 55-gallon drum, it becomes a 55-gallon drum. So whatever you're thinking and whatever your identity is and whatever you do is what the business becomes, and there's enough of it to fill anything and as many containers as you want. So think big. You see that? Or bigger. But that's how it happens. So get your head out of the toilet. Remember that? Get your head out of the toilet. Flush down the negative. 20 years I've been ranting about this crap. That was a pun. Put the big rocks in at the top first. Because when you put the water, the sand, and the pebbles in first, there's no room for the big rocks, and that's been your problem. You know? 20 years of I'm popping through these things faster than you can see them. Get out of the rut. The 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan. This has got to be at least 15 years old. Smash the alarm clock. Declare who you are. Declare that I am a UFO and I will no longer be held back. I have the right to declare who I am, and I have the DNA now, and I'm free, and I'm not working anymore, and I'm going to quit my job, and I'm going to do this business. Okay? That's what it's got to be. You should have a celebration and do that. I'm not going to take you to the graveyard. Wheelbarrow. I'm not going to take you to the graveyard today. Where is that thing? I'm not going to shout at it anymore. I already know it won't get up, but you know what? You should do a ceremony. You should do a ceremony. Because tomorrow's the next day of the dash, and you can do something about it. But we're all going to end up there. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die to get there. But I haven't met anybody that's gotten out of life alive yet. So what are you going to do while you are alive? You see, that dash is like a book. You'll end up there, right? And when you do, what will your book say? Oh, got a job, grew up, got a job, got married, had a kid, went on a vacation, had a bad time, went broke, got another job, got divorced, moved on, died. Would you buy that book? Would it be a bestseller? You have time to write your book. Make it an adventure. Make it a thriller. Make it funny. Make it fun. Okay? I want you all to go to the graveyard and experience it. Because when you talk to that gravestone and look at it and realize that you're going to be there and you can do something about it, your identity might change. So tomorrow, for each and every one of us that is now living, is the first day of the rest of the dash. What are we going to do different? What are we going to do different? Because like Mark said, the older you get, those days fly by. So what are you going to do different to make the future different? You know, a lot of people ask, what is success all about? And I think we know. But you have to keep having fun with this thing. And I hope that you are having fun. And we can change the world. A little boy wanted to play, and he went up to his dad and said, you know, Dad, you promised me that you'd play with me, but it's, you know, when you got home from work and you're not doing it again. He said, I'll just get to it. I just got to finish one thing. Sound familiar? So Dad knew he had to distract the little boy's attention. So he grabbed a magazine on the floor that had a picture of a globe, the world. And he ripped it up into little pieces like a puzzle, and he threw it down. And the little boy was only 4 or 5 years old. He knew he couldn't possibly put it together. But to his dismay, in 3 minutes, the little boy came with the world put together. He said, son, how did you do that? It's amazing. I mean, you're a genius. He said, no, well, Daddy, I know that on the other side of that picture was a picture of a man and his family. And if I got the man together, his hands would bring the children and the mommy together. And if I brought the family together in the picture, the world would come together. That's Market America. That's Market America. So, I never know if you're going to come back. I hope that you have your ticket. Because I talked last night about the race, and you saw that video. I'm not going to show it again, but all that matters right now is that you finish the race, and that you have your ticket, you come back here, and that we have another reunion like this, and you be at the next level. That's all that matters to me. And I hope that you have a magic moment this weekend. It's been a long 20-year journey. It just doesn't seem long. 20 years is 20 years, but it's like a blink to me. But the joy of the journey, folks, I want you to know, has been filled with detours, with scares, with calamities, with surprise obstacles. You guys know some of them. We just don't tell a lot of people about them. Unknown, roadblocks. And the future was unknown. We had challenges. The government, in a misunderstanding, hit us with an SEC thing. Deceitful, frivolous lawsuits, competitive attacks, challenges to the UnFranchise to try to bring it down or use it against us. Mutinies, But our flag is still flying through it all. And now I have many magic moments. I've had many magic moments, too many to count, because we keep going. I hope that you find your magic moment this weekend, that you can recall and say, that was when it happened. When that billionth of a volt snaps across your cerebral cortex and causes you to make a decision when the future was uncertain and you didn't know what was going to happen. And because you made that decision in the face of uncertainty, the future was determined. That's a magic moment. And it happened to us many times. I think back, I just think back to Lauren, one of the greatest magic moments in my life. She was 18, and I wasn't robbing the cradle. She came after me. And it's true. She was so stupid to love me, but so beautiful that I loved her. Now I love her for how smart she is. And and you talk about a profile in courage. You talk about a profile in courage. She's got a hemorrhoid on her brain. But she's here in full force. And she'll be back next year even better. And we know we've done our homework. We know we made our decisions. We don't go into anything blind. We have the best, and it's going to be just fine. But anytime somebody goes in your brain, it's a little scary, especially me. So say a prayer for her. It was a magic moment when I was mouthing off 22 years ago about everything I thought and knew. And I was sick and tired of this stuff happening. And she said, well, big boy, if you think you're right, it sure makes a lot of sense to me. You sure are passionate about it. Why don't you do it? And she believed in me so much and irritated me so much. A magic moment went off and we started this company. I want to thank you for that, Lauren. I mean, and then, without a doubt, one of the greatest magic moments, if you got your head on right, is your children. And certainly, Amanda and Amber have been magic moments in my life. Amanda and Amber are totally the opposite, totally different, but in one way. It's a magic moment to see Amanda persevere, become a UFO, start conquer, and not give up, and finding the persistence to go on and do it. And Amber is a modern day miracle. She's a genius, a child genius. She's going to be a spokesperson, I hope, for Market America. She and Dwayne are a prince and princess without a country. I guess this will have to be it. She's starting her own skincare line. You'll see it next session. She's spreading her wings entrepreneurially, and I love it. She's a fashion trendsetter, a real fashion trendsetter. She's going to be huge like her mother. And Amber, you're a magic moment to us, and I hope that you just do whatever your passion tells you to do, because you'll be great at it. And I got lucky. Most people seek to marry money. I got lucky and married entrepreneurism. Little did I know, and the family of Ashley was a brother, a sister, and another brother who were as, or if not more, entrepreneurially than her. All of them extremely smart and very good looking. Like a Kennedy family, but smarter and entrepreneurial. And who would ever think that I would tap such an energy source? So I feel very, very lucky because they're incredible. And, yeah, you can clap. They're just amazing. Brandy and Steve. But like in their style, anywhere they go, everybody becomes their family. So the whole neighborhood becomes their family. The whole corporate team becomes their family. It's just the way it is. And, of course, Joe was already part of the family, and it's amazing what happened. We needed help, and Joe was in school, and instead of pursuing his career, we messed his mind up. And he's been incredible for systemization, and we needed somebody that would dedicate their life to it. And Marty, I got to tell you, if it wasn't for your Harvard education, I don't think we would have hired you. But he does have a Harvard education. When you grow up in Brooklyn, you get a Harvard degree. in the school of hard knocks, you know. And, but Marty, you all know the story that when we were struggling, okay, Marty offered to give us a lot of money. We didn't take it all, we took some, but it was just the confidence. But Marty, that wasn't what made you valuable at all. It was really your ability to negotiate and the fact that you were an incredible merchant and could help us lead us into being the mall without walls. And I want to thank you for that magic moment when people tried to take you from us. You decided to stay with us, you know. And Dennis, Joe, Marty, Dennis, and Kevin, the four musketeers. Dennis, I just want to thank you for watching my back, for standing up to people who tried to steal our dream when you didn't hardly know me. Very special. And to all the people that you talk to and set straight, love them to death, but set them straight. I owe you my life. I mean, Dennis is the one that everybody talks to. He understands because he's a UFO, but he said, look, if you want your dream to come true, this is the way it is. And he does it very well. You know, and Dennis also for all those lonely roads and lonely nights. And I know what it's like. And Kevin, I mean, he's a cross between Popeye the Sailor Man and what's the rock star? Huh? Sting. You look more like Sting. I know, you're a handsome guy. But I like it when you pop the spinach. But, you know, Kevin is a professor. He's a teacher, but he loves to shout at people. He's a good coach. I love him. And there's been many episodes where we've spent all night figuring things out together. No matter how big the problem, they never lose the faith. They know that we will solve the problem. And what I say about this guy, Mark Ashley, I was going to quit. I'd been making $250,000 a year most of my life, and I'd just gone broke because a company pulled the rug out from underneath me. That's the only way I knew that Lauren really loved me, because I didn't have any money left. But, you know, we were getting it going. I sold these guys. I really feel a little guilty about all of them, because I think I messed their minds up. I made them they're more passionate and more driven than me, and it's out of my control. I can't do anything about it. They even shout at me for doing things that I told them not to do. But I was at, 6 months, Elizabeth. It was right around the Royce McCoy stage when things were, we didn't know we were going to make it. And I said, man, maybe this is ahead of our time. Maybe it's just, the world's not ready for it. And Mark said, don't quit. You can't give up the dream. It makes too much sense. We're going to make it work. I'll take care of the office. I'll do all the things. I'll pack the boxes. You go out and build. Just let me live at your house and give me $30 a week. Incredible. We wouldn't be here today if he hadn't done that, because I was ready to go out and do consulting work, No, so look, in a low moment, even I almost quit. Remember that. But it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you rise and you finish the race. Okay? And I'm telling you, I did hit the road. And it's kind of funny how your hopes and dreams are dependent on other people. Pretty amazing. Well, part of my hopes and dreams were dependent on Tony and Pam Bowling. They didn't know it, but if they left, we would have collapsed. I didn't let them know. But I got that call, and he had been spooked, he had been worked on, he had been manipulated. But he had enough honesty and integrity to tell me to come up, and I knew something was wrong. You know the way you just know. I drove all night and met him in that restaurant, and he said, my sponsor quit. They got a better deal, they say. I don't know. And I said, Tony, look, I know what I'm doing. It's going to work. This is going to be great. And then, I need you with me. I mean, I'm going to make it work. Give me a chance. He says, if you be my sponsor, I'll stay. That was a magic moment. He could have done it the other way. And this whole organization of Keeper and, Keith Doyle, all those Gender, it wouldn't be here. And I don't forget it, you see. I don't forget where I came from. And then, Elizabeth, what a pistol she was. Still is. I mean, she was all over the map, but she just had something in her, and she did get it, but she was getting influenced by other people during this mutiny, and we challenged her, and I want to thank you, Elizabeth, because you were the first person that says, I will show you. I will make this thing work, and I will do it right, and I will lead the way. And she has ever since. It was a magic moment. Magic moment. And if it wasn't one thing, it was another. We ate problems for breakfast. And we had an attack on the UnFranchise, use UnFranchise against us to get our people and to make money. And so we had to go through a court battle on it, and I just want to thank, Frank Kiefer and the Advisory Council for coming to our defense. And, if you guys weren't for us, it would have gone the other way. And that was a magic moment. And I would be remiss in not mentioning, but understand what a magic moment is. The future was unknown. This was not determined. In a silent moment, when nobody knew what would happen, somebody made a decision to do it this way, which determined the future. And each one of you will have magic moments in your life. And I hope that it's a magic moment that works out to bring you to the level of director, to be one of these people, to be part of this. And I'd be remiss in not mentioning the pioneers like, Rick Hannon and Dave and Maria Silva. And I mean, we didn't have anything going right. Marty was trying to work out with these vendors that we had that didn't keep their promises, and they stayed with us and worked through it. And I had to talk to them about, but I was honest with them, and they stayed. And then Rick, I was at our first convention, and I said, someday we'll have Chinese in this business even. Grandpa over here, where is he? And Rick and Cindy were longtime friends, and I never brought anybody from another company because it brought problems, but they tracked me down. And Rick bought tickets because I taught before to buy tickets. And he had to get rid of one, so he sold it to Vicki Lee because she didn't understand what he was saying. She's a smart Chinese girl. She had the ticket, might as well go. And I just announced, believe this is an omen. I announced in front of the room, it was only 100 people, someday we will have Chinese people and be everywhere in the world. And at that moment, Vicki Lee walked in the room. Ask Dennis, ask them over there. Wow. Now, I never expected all of this. But I do want to say it was a magic moment for you to teach me my lesson. That I didn't translate, I made everything difficult for you. I didn't really think that you were as powerful as you were in your entrepreneurial spirit. I was totally wrong, and I admire you, embrace you, and I'm so thankful that Shu and a mess of other ones of you, I don't know how you would ever translate that. That's terrible English. But a bunch of you got into my soul, into my mind, and it's been an incredible magic moment. And I'm just looking forward to the future, you know, with you guys, because it's just fabulous. Thank you, you know, your belief. And I don't know why I got possessed by not being just a one product sales company. I was enamored by the future of the internet and knew that if we could get a hold on that, we would have something very special. But Mark and Lauren will tell you, we were not doing very well. I found out something. IT people lie a lot. And they get away with it because you don't understand what they're talking about. And I had a lot lie to me. And we had a lot of letdowns and a real struggle. And it's hard to get somebody really good who really believes in what we're doing, who will see it through. I'm going to tell you something. We were in deeper than we could get out. And if I went through this one more time and didn't deliver anything, you guys were going to put me in an insane asylum. Weren't you? And I got to say, it was a magic moment when Michael Brady joined us and embraced what we did and changed all that and I want to thank him and Vince Hunt and Eugene Wallace for being so passionate and so good at what you do to make us into the social shopping and commerce king. It's a magic moment, and I know you believe. Yeah, thanks for not letting us go over the cliff. And I had a new magic moment this year. I tried so hard to find Spanish people that could be like me. The UK's easy. I love you guys, man. I want to be a Brit, you know. They're all so cool. They got I love their little sarcastic attitudes, but they're so cool. Any rate, I mean, look, we have all these Spanish friends, some of the greatest figures in the world. They all love the business, but they're not going to show the plan. Dennis, we tried everything. And all of a sudden, a gift was given to us from God, I believe, and out of the clear blue sky, you know, I guess, Cindy Samuelson and Frank Heaver were on a cruise, and they spilled the beans. And at any rate, Maria and Roberto were a gift to me from God, because I was looking for the Spanish JR. I got them. And I want to thank you, because you don't know that I know how hard it's been to give up your income, to walk away from a company, and to have no net, and to trust us. It's a magic moment. We're going to be big. And and finally, I do have to mention the Spanish Dream Team too, and Fernando. Their day hasn't yet come, but it's coming, and they are red hot and rolling. These are the type of people I needed. He's another Spanish JR. And guys, we're going to conquer the globe because of these people. So go find your Spanish-speaking friends. They're passionate. They love this type of business, you know. And well, one man with belief is worth 100,000 or 10,000, whatever the number, with just interest. So are you interested, or do you believe? You see? Because if you will go home a little differently this time, with a resolve to do something with that dash tomorrow differently, we'll have a magic moment. And if 20-some thousand people go back resolved, and you guys are resolved to make them resolve so that their book isn't boring, so they have an adventure, and change one thing, and get on the shopping annuity and fill the bean jar. And if you're in the race and tomorrow's the next day of the dash, whatever excuse you have for not buying a ticket is going to be a lousy story. And nobody's going to buy it, especially me. And there's not much chance that there's going to be an adventure that people want to buy or that you want to live. I hope that you have a magic moment right now, and that we together, collectively, create a magic moment that will be known in this world, because we can change the world. We can change the economy. Let's prove it. Let's do it. So when you come back here next time, and I don't know if you'll be there, the future's undetermined, isn't it? And you come back, it'll be a magic moment. You see? God bless you. I believe in you.